inheritor, that means a derived class, base classes, derived classes, non-derived classes, non-derived into different assemblies. So non-derived classes into different projects, derived classes into different projects. Wherever in the project you required, there you can call it. So that is one of the advantage of functions, what we called reusability is the first thing. Second thing is what now? Once you written some logic, this logic will be execute or compile and execute, and immediately function will return some value. The nature of function is what it is here. It must be returning a single or a value will be written for us. By that reason, what we are going to be using in your front-end languages, wide return type we are using. When we are using wide return type, it doesn't return a function. So if you're not using this wide return type, your function immediately returns to you. But my requirement is what now? I don't want to take immediately. Wherever, whenever I required it, there only you just send the value. That's why to controlling of return type or return value, the people are using what now? Return type. So this is what general definition of your front end, .NET, Java, Python, etc. Same as it is. How these functions we are using to writing some logical code, to reusability, and to perform some operation or task, and it return must value. So how we are going to be defined in the front end, same as in the back end also. So in backend also, we are using functions for reusability's purpose, to performing some task purpose, returning a value purpose, we are going to be use it. And same as in your front end, we have like a predefined functions, like a user defined functions, how you differentiate there. Okay, how you categories your two types, same as here also we have a two types of functions. Here also we have a predefined functions which was comes along with your software installation, and someone is called as a user defined, and user defined functions are created by programmer as per our need and necessity. Okay, now so that all we will be discuss complete functions in this area, and these are very important for next level of operations, whatever we will do. Okay, na? So that's why you have a good idea on operator, functions, and classes. These three topics, sir, if you have a good idea, then later you can start like a joins or subqueries or relations, procedure, function, triggers. These all are easy for you. Okay, na? Right. So now finally, how I can define a function means, what simply we can say, to perform some task, as per the given input values, and it must be returned, a value, Okay, next. Oracle supports the following functions. The following functions are, so first one we called predefined functions, and these functions you can use in SQL queries and also PLSQL programs. You can use it. Second one we called as user-defined functions. Okay, na? So user-defined functions will be created or used, okay, in PLSQL language only, because SQL language doesn't support the user-defined functions. Okay, right. And in this part, when come to we are learning SQL language. So in SQL language, what are the predefined functions? What are those? How to use in queries? We will discuss. And this predefined, even though in PLSQL also we are using in some programs, And in PLSQL, one more advantage is what now? User will create its own functions. As per our requirement basis, we will create it. But user-defined functions, users cannot create it by the help of a SQL language. Okay, na? Right. These are the important. And now we will go for predefined functions. What are those? When come to predefined functions, okay, these functions all okay. These functions are also called as okay, built-in functions we called okay, built-in functions in Oracle Database. Okay. Again, predefined functions are again two types. First one we called as a single row functions. Okay. And second one we called as a multiple or multiple row functions we called. Single row functions, even though we called as a scalar functions we can call scalar functions we can call okay, and multiple row functions, even though we called as a grouping functions, otherwise we called as a aggregative functions we called grouping or aggregative functions. Okay, na? Right. And what about single row functions or scalar functions? In your interviews, if anybody asks you, can you tell me some scalar functions means don't confuse. Yes, scalar functions are nothing but single row functions. Okay, na? Right. And why the people called as a single row functions? It means that these functions will be written only single value. That means when I'm when I'm passing or input some input values to the function, then function will perform some task as per input values, and it always returns single value. That's why these are called as a single row functions we called. Okay, right. So these functions are, are returning or returns a single value. So these are so many different types of functions are there in this. First we called as numeric functions. Next we called as string functions. And even those string functions, even though we called as a character functions also we can call. Next we have your date functions. So next we have your null functions. And null functions we already discussed. We covered NVL and what next? NVL2. These functions I already explained to you. And next, we have your conversion functions. And next, we have your analytical functions. So analytical functions, we are going to be checking in subqueries. Okay, na? Okay, right. So these are we'll called as the single row functions types: numeric, string, date, null, conversion, and analytical. Okay, let us see one by one these functions we will be check it out. But before checking my functions, either user defined or predefined, any function, once you need to call. So what just now I said in your class program, if you want to call your function or method, you are using object name. With the help of the class object, you are calling your method or function. So same as if I want to call my function, either predefined or user defined in my Oracle database, there is some syntax we have here. Okay, na? So now write down here how to call a function. So it's a small syntax you should remember. My syntax will be select and give it your function name and send your value or values, okay, from dual. Value or values from dual. And can you remember when I'm working with null functions, there is a dual we are used, yes or no? So there I said that what is dual, how it was working in the future classes, you can understand it. Okay. Now I'm going to explain this, what is dual. So now take the reading. If anybody is asking to you in your interviews, what is dual? Okay, na? Here observe. Basically, dual is called as it is a system defined table. And of course, along with software installation, there is some system defined tables also we got it. Some system defined users we got it. Like I already explained to you, system user, sys DBA user, yes or no? These are all our system. That means you should remember one thing what now, along with softwares in any technology, once you are installing your software means inbuilt along with your softwares, some features was given by people. Okay, some predefined functions, methods, classes, interfaces, properties. Those are some inbuilt, those things are come out. So which will come along with your software without user interaction. By default, whatever it was come to us in our software, those are called as a predefines. For example, if you go to in Java, .NET, Python, you have some predefined functions. Those predefined functions, programmer is not created. Those functions, how it was coming with you along with the software. When you're installing Java software, Eclipse, My Eclipse, NetBeans, if you're installing along with that software, you will get some predefined class names, predefined libraries. Yes or no? Class libraries, packages, how you get it without user creation, without user interference, which will get along with software. Those are all are called as a predefines. This is blindly remember, which you created yourself based on some syntax, some formula that is called as a user defines. So same like this, dual is also one of the system defined table or predefined table, which will be getting along with the software. Understand? Na? So how I said select star from tab. Tab is also table. That is also predefined table. Like dual is also what we can say system or predefined table. And this is one of the table. This table, why and where I can use it means that especially we are using this table support, we are taking this table support whenever you need to work with the functions. Either you can work with the predefined function or user defined function, it's none of the matter. But when we are working with predefined or user defined functions, and when those functions, whenever you call, compulsory we should use a dual table support. And with the help of this table, what I can do, it means that I can test a function functionalities. That means how this function is working. That is called a workflow. The workflow testing purpose, programmers are going to be using dual table. And that's why this table other than function areas, you never use any other cases. Okay, na? So mostly we are using under function areas only we will be used. And without dual, again, my functions cannot be called it. Okay, compulsory when we call a function must be you have a dual. Okay, and without this I can't directly call, I cannot call directly my function without a dual. So this advantage is what now? With the help of dual, I can test a function functionalities. Functionalities means, for example, human body functionalities. Okay, visibility, hearing, tasting. Yes or no? How we can say same as a function functionalities whenever you need to test, there we require a dual. And this dual table is having only single column and single row. And this table is also called as a dummy table in Oracle. What's the table name? Dummy also we called as. Okay, na? Right down below. It is a system defined, table in Oracle database. Okay. It contains only one row and one column. It is also called as, okay, dummy table in Oracle. This table is used to test a functionalities. That means workflow. That means workflow. Now we can see if it is a table means compulsory it has some structure. Yes or no? How I can see my structure of table? What is the syntax? Test keyword we are using, same as here also. Right now, how to view the structure of dual table, and you just follow this syntax. So desk, and I'm saying dual. Okay. So let me come out and see your database now and check it out. So this, okay. So my DB is 6 p.m. and I need to set my page size, set lines. I didn't explain na page size lines. No, okay. And now you can come out and see. So here observe. So desk keyword and your table name is dual. And now we can see this is your table structure. Okay. And now carefully observe. This is your column name. What is my column name? Dummy. So, and having only one column, and the column name is also called as a table name. So, dummy. And by default, it was accepted null. And your data type is what now? Varchar 2. So, you're having only single column is there. There is no other than this column. Okay, now below right now. Okay. Now the same as suppose it is a table. If you want to see how to view data in dual. So when we want to view the data in dual table, so again, what is the syntax to see the table information? Select star. So here also you have to use your syntax now. Select star from what is the table name? Dual. And this statement, if I'm writing here, so to write select star from dual, then you can see a D by X, a D representing column name, X is nothing but rows. So single column, single row. Okay, na? Single column, single row. Okay, right. So now you can come out. This is what completely your dual information. Okay, now we understand now what is dual. Okay, right. And with the help of this dual table, now I can check my functions, how I can call it here and how it was working now. Now take first one. What is the first category? Numeric functions. Numeric functions. So my first function is called as ABS function. ABS function is my first one. Okay. ABS stands for absolute function. We called ABS function is called as what now? Absolute. This function, okay, what purpose I want to use? It means that I want to convert negative sign values into positive sign values. So whenever you need to convert your negative sign value into positive signs, there you can use your ABS, and the syntaxes are very important for you to remember. Okay, now once you understand syntaxes, then it was very easy for examples. Okay. Okay. And so here I'm giving n. N is nothing but what now? Argument. So that means ABS function is having only single argument. There is no more than one argument. If you try to pass more than one argument, it was showing error. So every function is having some limited arguments only. It was there because these are all are predefined. Okay, na? Right. So only single argument should be there. And now let me come to see the example now. The first, if I want to use here, select ABS of -12, okay, from dual. So now what it was happen, okay, this function result I'm showing as what now? Result. As a result is what? Alias name. Okay. So now you can see when I was given negative value, but it was converting and returning positives. Understand na? So this is what ABS advantage. Another one is what now? For example, if you have and come to your EMP table, this is my present table information. In this table, few columns data I need to fetch and with some calculation. So what I want to fetch here, I want to fetch employee name, fetch salary, fetch commission, comma. Then after commission minus salary, I need to calculate as a result. Okay, from which table I'm calling these columns? These columns belongs to EMP table, not a dual table. So it's not belongs to dual. See, dual where you want to use, where you didn't use. When you are performing your function on table columns, then you can use that table name. Okay, without any table operation, just normal, if you call a function like this is called a normal calling. I'm not using any column here. Okay, then you can use a dual. But here I'm not, okay, not only function, along with the function, we are calling some columns information also. And these columns is not belongs to dual. These columns are belongs to which table? AMP. So that's why that table name should be used. So now this is what I need to got it now. That means I want to fetch. So now I executed now. If I'm going to fetch here, so here almost everyone is having negative. 1 second. I want to change my table. Demo tables uploaded. Huh? Okay. Now, so now how to call here? Select a star from EMP. This is your table, original table information. In this salary column and commission columns, you can see some people commissions are nothing. It's nothing but nulls. Some people commissions are having some values. Okay. Our requirement is what now? Display name, sal, commission, commission minus sal as I have to show as result from EMP. Now we can see this is the output. And we already knows any, that means a null value. When you want to perform any arithmetic operation with a value, it again returns null only. Okay, na? So that's why you can see in the NVL function we discussed. So there what we added, there? Question, salary plus commission. So salary plus commission. So salary plus 800 plus a null. What it was showing us? Null only showing us. Here also null minus or null minus 800. Again it was showing minus null only. So again it was showing null. All null interactions are, everything will be nulls only. Okay, now? Now, so that I just leave it. But next one you can see commission minus salary. So 300 minus 1600, total minus 1300 will come to you. Next, 500 minus 1250, result minus 750. 1400 minus 1250, 150. This is positive sign. Okay. Next, 0 minus 1500, again minus 15. So here few values are having in the negative. So these are negative sign values I need to convert into positive signs. Okay, for positive signs purpose, don't exchange these columns. The sir, if I give it salary minus commission, na, then all are positive will come, na. So why you are going to be like this? So that is a factor. The ABS function advantage is what now? If in case you will get it a negative sign values with this expression, even though those negative values I can convert. Okay, my expression I cannot change. My expression I cannot change. I keep the same expression, but instead of negatives, I want to return positive. In that cases, let me come out and see. On this expression, you apply ABS, and this is the function. Okay. If I did this ABS, can you see my expression is commission minus salary only, but see 1300, 750, 1500. So it's positive conversion. Huh? Yes, this is what ABS function use. Right down below. First, a normal function example you can take. Next, seal function. Seal function. Right on. It returns upper, or it always return. You can say like it it always returns upper bound values or value only. It always returns upper bound value only. And what is the syntax of this seal? So seal of n. Okay, now? Right. So come out and see this seal function. So when we call seal of suppose 9.2, if I'm giving here my expression 9.2 upper bound, how much? 10. 10 is your upper bound value. Even though if I take 9.8 also 10. So it always upper bound. Okay, na? But when I'm taking 9.0, then only 9. The remaining 9.1 to 9.9. It any expression you can take, it always be upper bound. Okay, right, Umbel. Next, floor function. So floor function, it always returns lower bound value only. The syntax of floor, then you can use floor of n. Only single arguments are there. Okay, right. Come and see the lower bounds will be written now. Suppose if I was used here, floor function, what is the lower bound? 9. And now if I'm using this is okay, even though 9 only. If I'm using 0, even though 9 only. So it always be lower, right now. Next, mode function. Mode function. It returns the reminder value of the given expression. The reminder value of the given expression. So this function is having your two arguments, mode m comma n. So example, let me come out and see. For suppose are you writing here mode of 10 comma 2. So what is my reminder? 0. Here 0, how it was come? If anybody asks now, simple here. Don't ask me again. So this is reminder. Okay, this is called a reminder. Understand na? No, yeah, after class somebody is asking. I know. That's why before I'm giving explanation, that doubt is clear. Okay, right. So now here observe the next level. Suppose here in my table EMP numbers are there. Careful observe. There is number of almost 14 employees, employee numbers we have. So from these 14 employees, I need to pick which employee number is even. Understand? This is one of the interview question one student is faced. I have 100 employees, 100 employees numbers are there. So which employee ID number is the even number? Those even number IDs are picked. Understand? So in this total 14 employees. How to write my logic here? Select star from EMP where? Which function should use? Mode of which column? EMP number is a one argument, comma, what? 2 is equals to 0. If your reminder value will 0, it's called a even. If your reminder will give 1, it's called a odd number. Now let me see to execute. Out of 14, how many employees are even numbers? 10. So like you can see 6, 4, 8, 2, 8, 4, 6, 0, 2, 4. Evens are even numbers or not? If you wanted odd number, keep it what? 1. And remaining 4 people is comes under odd numbers 9, 1. Okay. So like you can use your mode, right? Next function, round function. So careful observe this round function. Don't confuse and important also. Round function, okay, how it will be written your value means Okay, it returns, it returns, it returns the nearest value. Okay, na? Which value? The nearest value of a given expression, based on 0.5 value. It was written nearest value of given expression based on 0.5. Okay. What is 0.5, sir? Let me see. If your expression decimal point values, if it is less than 0.5, then it will return 0, and the 0 we added to main value. Okay, what I'm saying here, if expression, if expression decimal point value is less than 2, or which is less than 0.5, okay, na? Less than 0.5, then it returns 0. Then it returns 0, and which will add to main value. Second option, if expression, okay, if expression decimal point value is more than or is equals to, if more than or is equals to 0.5, then returns 1, and which will add to main value. Your syntax is a round function of a expression, comma, decimal places. Decimal places is optional. Okay. What it means, sir, here observe carefully. Suppose, or you don't write, observe 45 point, suppose I was given here 2.9 I was given. This is one expression. In this expression, what it will be calculated means a decimal point value. A decimal point value is what now? 0.2. This is decimal point values. This decimal point value, what is this? 0.2. 0.2, which is less than to 0.5. Correct? Yes. Then how much I need to add? To whom? To main value. So it will be returns 0. The 0 I need to add main value 45. 45 plus 0. How much? Total 45. Okay. Right. If I was given here 5, then decimal point value how much? 0.5, which is greater than or is equals to 0.5. It means how much I need to add? 1. The value returns 1. The 1 I'm adding to whom? main value. So plus 1. So 45 plus 1, 46. This is called a nearest value. Your nearest value as per 0.5 expression, which is nearest to the expression, that nearest value will be written to you. Okay, na? So now you can come out and see. So now we are writing select round of 45 comma 23 if I'm sending. What is that? Nearest value how much? 45. If I'm giving here, okay, 53, the nearest value 46. If I'm giving here 83, then nearest value 46. Got it? Right now. Okay. But in this examples, I'm just taking expression. But I didn't mention decimal places. How much you want it after decimal point, how many places you want it, that I didn't mention in these expressions. Okay. Now what is decimal places, sir? Let me come out and see. Decimal places means, for example, you taken some amount 364. Now this is my value. So from this expression, I want to return my value with one decimal value. I want to return my output with how many decimal points? One decimal point. So that means here one decimal point, how it will be calculated. Now careful observe. 364, keep it as is. You wanted only one decimal digit. That means what it was come 2. Yes or no? 2. Okay, because after decimal point, how many places I required? One place. So decimal point here, point this is after point one decimal. One decimal I'm taking. But this one decimal, how it will be considered as a nearest value means after one decimal value, after which value was there, that will be considered as a 0.5 expression. That means here 364.2. This is my required data. After that, what it was 8 is there. That 8 means how it was considered 0.8. 0.8 which is greater than or equals to 0.5. How much returns? 1. 1 will be written. This 1 will be added to your previous point value. How much? 2. Then 2 and 1 added. So how much it will be? 364.3. Understand? Na? And here how many decimal places I'm taking? 1 decimal places. So let you see that thing. Observe carefully. Okay, right. Something I was given and 2. So now we can see here I'm giving the decimal places. Don't write. First I wanted my decimal point value 1. 1 decimal place I required. So here 2 after 8. 8 means 0.8. 0.8 is greater than 0.5. 5 means 1. 1 written. 1 written. What we had to add? 2. So that means finally what it was come? 645.3. Suppose if I was given here 5, then 5 means 0.5. 0.5 is equals to 0.5. Returns 1. 1 should add to your decimal point, 1 place value 2. 2 plus 1, 3. Again, okay, na? Next. Suppose if I am giving here 4, 0.4, 0.4 less than 0.5, returns 0. 0 will add to 2. How much? 2. Then it will be returns 645.2. Next, suppose if I'm asking 2 decimals I wanted. 2 decimal means how to up to how much take a point after 2 will consider 4 also taking. 4 after what? 3. 3 consider 0.3. 0.3 less than 0.5. How much returns? 0 add to 4. 4 plus 0, 4 only. That means 2, 4. Yes or no? Yes. 2 places I'm taking now. Now, suppose here I was given 5, then 2, 5. Yes or no? 2, 5. Next, if I'm taking here 8, 2, 5. Next, suppose if I'm asking here 3 decimal places I want it after my main value. So 2, 4, 8. 8 after what? Nothing. Nothing means 0. 0 means 0.0. 0.0 less than 0.5. What it returns? 0. 8 plus 0? 8 plus 0? So now 8. Clear? Suppose if I send it the extra value, if I'm giving 5, then 2, 4, 9 will come to you. Okay, na? So after main value, after decimal point, how many places you wanted, those places after extra value will consider as a 0.5 expression. So you can consider with a 0.5 expression if it is less than 0, more than or equals to 1. And that values will be adding into previous digits. Okay, na? Right down below. Once you do practice at your side also, we'll get some idea. Okay, na? Right. Next, trunk function. So trunk function, what it was saying, it returns an exact value, and next point is what now? It doesn't consider 0.5 expression. It doesn't consider 0.5 expression. Now you observe. Trunk function, an exact value will be written. It doesn't comparing with 0.5. whether in your expression after decimal places or after decimal point, whether it is a 0.5 more or less or equal, it doesn't consider. Exactly whatever you given, that will be returns. That's it. Okay. For example, let me see. This is, suppose in this, so we are using what now? Trunk function, trunk. So suppose if I'm giving here 2, what it will return? 46 or 45 or 45. 40. But the same thing if I use round, if I'm using round, 46. Why, sir? Because 0.5 expression will be considered there and comparing with the 0.5 expression. But here 0.5 not considered. So that means what it was returns? 45 only. Okay. So now you can see here, suppose if I was given now 83, then even though 45 only. Next one. Suppose I said 74 point something, comma, 1 I'm asking. 745.8 only? 9 8. Next, if I'm asking 2, 8, 8 4, no, 8 3, because 0.5 not considered. But the same thing if I'm giving round, 8 4. Next, if my decimal place is 3, 835, that's it. There is no changes in this. Suppose if I'm giving 4, so 835, because fourth decimal places are not there. Okay, all right. Exact value na? No consider of your 0.5. That's why it is not we are telling nearest values. We are telling exact values. We are not telling nearest value. We are telling exact values. Syntax, sorry, syntax, I forgot it. Syntax same as, syntax also same. Mm, mm. Complete? Mm. Okay, right. So these are numeric functions and functions are okay types. Okay. And the next one is what now? String functions. Those are important for you, but that we will see on tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow we will see the string functions. Okay, now is it clear? And before coming to tomorrow, practice once and come. Okay, right, yes. So thank you so much.